US of A, one of the biggest countries in the world. And even without doing research, I would say it's one of the best places to go road tripping. Smooth freeways cut across the country, allowing people to go by land transport from state to state, with amazing landscape to boot. I had a great time when I first visited that country, so I was quite excited to visit it again. And with the help of some relatives, I was able to go to more places this time. First stop was Colorado Springs. I have an aunt and a couple of cousins living there. I promised my aunt a year before that I would visit her, so I did. I went there with little expectations since my goal was just to catch up with relatives who I hadn't seen for years. As it turned out, Colorado Springs is one of those areas with fantastic red rock formations. I was taken to the Garden of the Gods, and I would not argue why it was named such. Then we went inside the Air Force Academy. The jets on display were just impressive. Another impressive thing inside it? This chapel. Look at that structure. It houses 4 chapels actually. Protestant, Catholic, Jewish, and Buddhist. Yay for diversity! On my last day in Colorado, my cousin took me to Fort Carson, where tanks and choppers were on display.
They killed a lot of people, if you come to think of it.
Having all these facilities is a testament to the military prowess of the USA, and Colorado happened to be a nest of such facilities. Lucky state, huh? Next, I went to the Golden State, California, to meet another set of relatives, and like me, they were also vacationing in the US. I was with them for the rest of my trip. After the New Year's 2014 celebration, we hit the road to go and see the giant redwoods and sequoias. The views on the way up were just wow. Now this was special because I wondered about these trees since I first read about them in grade school. The nerd in me was just happy.
Can you see? Jack, that's it.
Yeah, I
Now
know.
this is not the largest tree on earth. There was an information panel near this one describing General Sherman tree, said to be the largest on earth. So we were kind of underwhelmed to see this one, thinking we saw larger others on the way. And it wasn't just us, other tourists misunderstood it too. As it turned out, we were supposed to look across the empty lot to view Sherman tree from afar. Hehe. Now this is General Sherman tree. So far, so good. Moving on. Then my cousin's best friend and family were kind enough to treat us on a trip to Las Vegas. Da 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 da. And add to that, they took us on a quick visit to Zion National Park in Utah. Okay, I thought I've seen so much awe-inspiring red rock formations in the US already, but Utah's Zion National Park was just impressive. And that was just scratching the surface, since we only drove along the park road and walked a little bit. What more if we had time to hike and explore the area? Well, I guess that's the reason to go back. As if we hadn't had enough, my cousin Jen, her husband, kid, and I went for an even longer drive. First, we stopped over at Phoenix, Arizona, since the trip would take about 14 hours in total. We just had to cut it. And good thing we did, otherwise we wouldn't be able to drop by this awesome brunch place called US Egg. When you happen to visit Arizona, look for it. It surely gave us a good start to the day. So where were we heading? To the enchanting state called New Mexico. It's the state that earned the luck of having one of the most mysterious stories to tell, the Roswell incident. However, we didn't go to that site, and that's not the only site that makes this state enchanting. It was a long way towards our destination, so we just had some fun along the way. Yes, like asking a truck driver for a hunk, just because. There was also this ghost town where we stopped by. We were just at the gate because it was closed. We started the day late, so darkness came, and we stayed over Las Cruces for the night. The next day, we headed to Alamogordo to see one natural wonder, the White Sands National Monument. It was the goal for that leg of the trip.
Oh, Hi! I'm in White Sands National Monument here in New Mexico, and as the name suggests, I'm surrounded with white sands. Lots of them!
After that, we went back all the way to California. We had one day off from travel, and then from there, we took the faster way to the East Coast by airplane. Where else would we go but to New York City? It's funny because at that time I've been living for 2.5 years in Korea already, but on our first night in New York City, we went to a Korean restaurant for dinner. Yeah, I wasn't being a good tourist there. And it's also worth mentioning that we were lucky because in January 2014, the polar vortex reached the northern part of the US, and New York City was one of those that experienced really low temperatures. But by the time we were there, the weather warmed up a bit in that it was comfortable to go out and be a tourist. I really like the vibe in that city. If only engineering companies exist there. We also made a side trip to New Jersey, just so we can say that we went there. So that was my extensive 18-day vacation in the US. Even with that, there is still so much to see in that big country, and a traveler would really be tempted to check every state. I don't know when I'll come back to the USA though. I want to go to a different country next time.